Man, that shit was dope, man. That was my first WrestleMania since I was a kid. You know what I mean? So that shit was amazing. That shit was dope. I was there both days in the rain with the poncho on, all that. Like, I couldn't miss that for the world. You feel me? You know what I mean? Took my family and stuff with me, and everybody, man, they enjoyed themselves. Even a couple of homies, they don't even be on that wrestling time. Like, what? Them niggas new fans now. Well,
did you and Gunn always watch together as kids too?
When we got time, you know what I'm saying? When I used to go over there, spend the night, you know what I mean, at the house and stuff on the weekends, you know what I mean? He had the what they used to call that shit, Peter, that that little box that you used to have to order the Tyson fights.
Oh, the black box?
Wrestlemanias and all that, yeah.
Black box. Yeah, the black box joint.
Yeah, his grandmother, always had that bag. You know what I mean? So,
people who had the black box, I swore they was rich, man. I was like, yo, how you have a thing where you get extra TV, man?
Well, where I was at, we was eating mayonnaise sandwiches and watching Channel 29 on the box with the aluminum foil on the joint.
What's good, y'all? It's Coffee on the vid. You hear that clip, Conway the Machine, talking about the cheater box, right? Who had a cheater box when you were coming up? You got all those wrestling pay-per-views or the boxing fights, like whatever was on pay-per-view, you were getting it. Tapping in the comments, y'all. But I had to bring this video regarding Conway the Machine, Griselda. We got to talk a little bit about them, and then we're going to cover another topic as well. Being that this video is Conway and, Griselda, specifically Conway and Westsidegunn, love pro wrestling, I figured I'd include some pro wrestling news at the end of this video, something that I was going to upload on my secondary channel. Coffee has got the keys. Make sure you guys are subbed up over there as well. Link will be pinned in the comments. I said, fuck it, man. We're talking about Conway. We're talking about Griselda. Let's give the wrestling news at the end of the video. So that's how we're going to do it. But Conway, was talking about coming up, his brother, Westsidegunn, which a lot of people forget. These dudes are really family for real, that when he would go to West's house, he'd be able to see all the pay-per-views, because that's what they were asking him. Like, we saw you at WrestleMania. You have fun. How was that? He went on to speak about how it was something he dreamed of doing his whole life. And, they asked him, did you and Westsidegunn always watch wrestling together coming up? And he was like, yeah, when I went there, because they had the cheater box. We was eating mayonnaise sandwiches and, using a hanger to try to get a signal on the free broadcast channels. I've been there, you know what I mean? Hit the comments if you have as well. The struggle is real. I've been on both sides of the fence, you feel me? But anyways, what I wanted to talk about in this video was a few things regarding Conway. But first up, speaking about how they're family, and Conway pushing the Drumwork music, his own label, his own movement. And we know Benny has got Black Soprano family, and Westsidegunn has some other things going on. The topic came up about how a lot of people were fearing, or just rumors in general, of Griselda breaking up.
So how amusing is it when these rumors seem to start over and over again, or is it annoying?
No, it's not annoying, man. It's kind of amusing. I was having a little fun with the shit, actually. You know what I'm saying? Even retweeting.
Yeah, I saw you weigh in. You trolled a little bit on Twitter.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that shit, I love that shit. It's just dope to see how much the fans, our day one and our true fans, really they love us that much that they don't want to see no bitterness or no weird shit that's been happening, with a lot of, groups or entities that came through over the decades, you know what I'm saying?
So you heard Conway, he said that is not going to happen, as we've seen it happen with so many collectives over the years, Dipset, G-Unit, Public Enemy at one time. Like, we could go on and on. The list goes on and on. Many artists, labels, collectives, crews, squads, whatever you want to call them, they split up. And as fans, I hate seeing this happen. Like The Rock. When that happened with The Rock, I was like, come on, man, this is what we're doing out here? it was wild, though. Then when we found out more about The Rock behind the scenes over the years as time has went on, we found out that there was so much dissension and issues going on behind the scenes long before the fans really knew about it. But anyways, getting back to Griselda, you heard Conway, nothing to worry about. They all love each other. They're fam. He loves that the fans are scared for that they love Griselda so much that they're scared for that. You know, that we see them all pushing their separate movements. And speaking of their, label, Conway was talking a little bit about Drumwork, and, he's got a compilation album coming. Hit the comments, guys. Let me know if you rock with what you've seen coming from Drumwork music. But something that was very interesting, the work ethic he was talking about they have when they're in the studio almost reminded me of things we've heard about Pac and the Outlaws in the studio. Like, have you guys ever heard how with Pac and the Outlaws, they'd be like, yo, because there's that classic footage out there where Tupac's like, listen, we don't have the luxury of time and this and that. We got to work and get the, I'm paraphrasing, but I'm sure y'all seen what I'm talking about. And people have said that's why people that were there have flat out said, yo, that's why you might hear a song and it's Pac and it's just these outlaws. But these dudes ain't on the track because they said, yo, they would just be writing and trying to create music. So if they had something together here, they're like, all right, boom, let's record this. Okay, let's do this. That things were moving fast. And Conway was kind of saying the Drumwork dudes, when he's in the studio with them, are kind of like, yo, I got a hook for this one. Okay, yo, I got a verse for this. Boom. So they're just in there working and trying to pump out the music. And that's dope, man, because as we know, Griselda drops a whole lot of music. And Conway, it seems that trend is going to continue on with Drumwork music, at least, or they're just trying to really get some stuff out there now. And listen, a lot of music at times, as I've covered Griselda on this channel many, many times. I love everything about Griselda, the movement, the originality, you know what I'm saying? The music, the art. And Conway spoke about that in this interview as well, how, their fans tap into them so much they can just stay true to themselves and do what they do. They don't really have to try to appeal to other audiences, and that's dope. And but 20 projects, Conway said, like, I didn't even realize I got 20 projects out. And can you guys still believe that even with, and forgive me, y'all, if I'm pronouncing this wrong, the La Machina album, I can't speak Spanish, although I should be able to. Long story. But anyways, the La Machina, I know, guys, I can't pronounce it for ish. With that project being dropped, that's 20 projects, they said, I guess, solo albums and mixtapes, etc., and still has not dropped his Shady Records debut. Can you believe that? Like, that's wild to me. But speaking of Shady, and with what Conway's saying here, how the fans don't need to worry, Griselda ain't going nowhere. You heard him say how he kind of trolled and played on that a little bit, retweeted certain things that were put out there when people were talking about it to kind of toy with people, because we heard Benny talk about Conway's sense of humor and how he likes to clown around. They're saying that wasn't real, but you'll never convince me that the issues with Shady Records wasn't real. Whenever I blogged on that, people are like, yo, stop it, man. Stop it. They're good. Griselda was not happy with Shady Records. They're not. Like, you're not going to convince me otherwise. But as far as Griselda, everything's good money. I know I sound like a fool trying to pronounce Conway's album. But hit the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the newest album, what you think about Griselda, if you truly believe that they're still as tight as ever. If that was all indeed BS and Conway was just trolling and they're all just kind of expanding and the fans were just scared, or, you really believe that to be true in 100. But moving along, guys, let's talk about this wrestling news that I wanted to get into. Very sad news, man. Steve Mongo McMichael, right? I'm sure you guys remember him coming into the wrestling world in the late 90s, you know, during the Monday Night Wars with WCW, you know, was a hell of a football player as well. Part of the 85 Bears. You see him carrying Ditka off the field and all that. Well, it seems he's been diagnosed with ALS.
For opposing offenses, Steve McMichael was a terror on the field, one of the leaders of what is considered one of the best defenses in football history, the 85 Bears. In fact, he helped carry head coach Mike Ditka off the field after the game. Former teammates are stunned that McMichael has now been diagnosed with ALS. For all his talent on the field, he had a colorful personality to match it off the field.
For us reporters, he was a treat to go to his locker because you knew he was going to say something controversial, funny, candid.
McMichael has stayed in the Chicago area since his football days. Publicist Betsy Shepard models a Team Mongo t-shirt being sold to help the family with expenses.
All right, so you guys hear that clip. Very, very sad. They believe he was just diagnosed in January, but they believe he may have had it, 3 years prior. And he's losing ability to use his hands, his arms. And it's just sad, man. And it's a scary thing to think about, because it just happens. There's nothing you can do to really cure it at this time. And I'm the kind of person, I don't even like to talk about certain things because it just freaks me out to think about it and put it out there in the atmosphere. That's how I feel about this, the situation with the ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. But peep this. This is what's really fucked up. Mongo's trying to do some, fundraising for ALS and such. And there's people out there bootlegging the T-shirts. Like, can y'all believe that? Like, he's selling T-shirts to raise money. And there's cats out here bootlegging the T-shirts. That's wild, right? But listen, I think I brought this up in a previous video once. It really don't surprise me at all, when it comes to what people will do to scam. Because back, I was in a facility growing up, right, when 9/11 happened. And peep this, y'all. There was cats in the facility talking about, if I was out in the world right now, I'd be going door to door acting like I'm raising money. I was like, man, these motherfuckers are cold-blooded and heartless. Like, can y'all believe that? But, thoughts, prayers out to Steve, Mongo, McMichael. For the wrestling fans, like I said, I was going to put this on my secondary channel. Links in the comments. Make sure to subscribe. Everyone subscribe over there. But I'm going to be doing a lot of pro wrestling content. There's a lot of sports content going up over there as well. Mongo was a pretty good wrestler for being a guy, right? Like, all the wrestling fans, let me know what you thought of Mongo's career as a wrestler, in the Four Horsemen. Did you think he belonged? He got the U.S. title once. If you remember correctly, Kevin Green was on the scene back then as well. They were doing like a whole, storyline with them and everything. But yeah, man, prayers out to Steve, Mongo, McMichael. And Conway says, Griselda is good money. Don't worry about it. Hit the comments, everyone. Make sure to sub to the channel. Stay tuned. Daily content is J Coffee Talk. We talk music, news, sports, current events, life, and much more. And I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.